Fortune Eternum. Here we go, chat. Community Q&A. Oh, Katie's back. Hey, Katie.
Time a player leaves.
Hold on. So if there is a Fortune Eternum Q&A today, that means that there's going to be a balance of power on Wednesday.
Or enters an
By your name, Trick, I will say he likes both just to trick you. Well, that is open to interpretation.
instance, they are spammed with title achievements. Why limit the number of active artifact quests per character at all? What is the team's plan to fix missing lore notes? Any time frame on when the devs will play their first OPR map? We are slowing down to release quality updates, end quote, Scott Lane. Well, so much for that. Well, at least we got Crassus event.
Yeah, sometimes things get a little worse before they get better. Hello, community. Welcome to the February Community Q&A. I'm here with Scott, and as you can see, we have an empty seat because Dave V, well, he said he's either going to be late or he's going to send a replacement, and we'll just have to wait and see. So today we're going to be taking your, oh wait, here we go.
Excuse
Look who's
me.
back.
I'll just mosey on in here. Sorry guys, I was in traffic for the last 5 months.
Now look who's back. Speculation can end. Katie's here.
Alive.
Before we start, I just want to touch on something really quickly, which is we're going to answer a bunch of questions here. But as you noticed in our last Fortune Eternum, that wasn't with us, it was just a regular Fortune Eternum, we answered some questions. So we're going to keep doing that until we hear from y'all that you don't like it. So the Winter Rune Forge mounts, there's going to be a few more coming that go into your questions. So don't feel bad if we don't get to it here, that we still might get to it.
Right.
Otherwise, I think we're ready for the questions.
All right, well, I'd like to begin with a quote. We are slowing down to release quality updates, end quote, Scott Lane. Well, so much for that. Well, at least we got Crassus event, I guess. Shrug.
Yeah, sometimes things get a little worse before they get better. This is an example of that. All I can do is tell you that when we make a mistake, we do what we call a correction of errors. We understand what the mistake was, and then we try to not make that same mistake again.
Yeah, of
we
course.
are slowing down as we've talked about, and I can promise you that we're putting every effort we can in to make season 5 a smooth, super fun, awesome, eventless, negative eventless release.
Yes, exactly.
Super fun, eventless. There you go. Super fun event. Super fun, eventless. There's absolutely nothing.
All right.
Crassus. So wait, season 5 is coming out in March. What event do we have in April, May, and June? We have the Springtide Bloom event, right? The Springtide Bloom and the Bunny event, right? Easter and Springtide. Okay, Easter and Springtide. I like those two, by the way. I think those two are fun. I like go ahead and farming bunnies all over the world to get another chest and maybe another piece of skin.
So every time a player...
Those aren't bad. So recycle content. Yeah, I mean, it's not. The thing is that this event are not recycle content. It's just events, right? Like events shouldn't be tied to content. It's just another thing to do, which is completely fine. Because right now, for example, what is there to do? What is there to do? You do your 3 PP missions a day, and then you go ahead and collect golden scarabs, and you are done. At least if I had like an event that I could go and get, or like, something that could keep me busy for the next 30 minutes or hour, I would take it.
leaves or enters an instance, they are spammed with title achievements.
And yeah, what
This has
Praxi
been
just
an
said as
issue
well.
For the longest time, any plans on fixing this
What is there to do? 5v1 trick and teabag. Bro, that is the story of my life right there, dude.
bug?
So the first thing to note here is it's not anytime someone leaves, it's anytime certain people leave. And lucky me, I'm one of those. So I am, you too? Yeah. I am infuriated by this bug, but Katie doesn't have it.
I'm still infuriated by it, but it doesn't affect me.
The problem with that is it makes it really hard to fix because we're not sure if it's like your persistent state of you or something with your thing in the world or something that you're doing different or with your computer or your Steam connection. So I can't promise it's going to be fixed for season 5. I can promise we're going to try, and I can promise that I complain about it to the team every single day because it's frustrating as heck.
And if it does impact you, one of the things that you can do is when it happens, go into the in-game feedback tool. So open the game menu, go down to submit feedback, and then just say that you've hit the in-game spam issue, because we'll pull a bunch of data and a bunch of information from your report, and that really helps us dig in. So when it happens to you, you don't have to do it a bunch of times, you just need to do it once when you hit it. So just hit that in-game feedback tool.
And to add a little bit more to that, like for the longest time, we weren't able to reproduce that issue internally with like our QA team. And that's changed recently. We found kind of like what we thought was a smoking gun with like a race condition between our different services connecting and all that. And so there have been fixes made to that aspect of it. It looks like there's still some parts that still need a little bit more love. So it's ongoing, but like we're making good headway now.
Yep.
I'm just going to ask, why limit the number of active artifact quests per character at all? Could it be removed or just increased to an outrageous number that doesn't get in the way of progression if the system requires a limit?
Yeah, so that's a great question. The reason we do that is because there's only so much capacity to store data about an individual character, and all the different parts of a character, all the items they have in all their storages, and quest progression and character progression, all that kind of stuff is kind of.
I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it, chat. I don't fucking buy it. I don't buy it. How many quests you can have? How many quests can you have whenever you're doing like MSQ? Whenever you're doing MSQ, what is the maximum of quests that you can have? I think it's like 20 quests, something like that, right? How many you can have 20 quests from like MSQ? You can have like 6 quests from the faction. You can have a pin recipe in there. They could have literally taken down the MSQ quest limit. If there was a limitation, they could have taken the MSQ quest limit from 30 to 20, and they could have released the artifacts instead of 5. They could have released the artifact with 20 easily. 10, 15, 20 easily, bro. Saying that you released it with 5 because you guys were limited to the amount of quests that we can have, that is massive flaw. It might be the truth and it might be real, but just because it's true and real doesn't mean that there's not a solution about it. Because there's way more fucking people that had 5 artifact quest limit than people had always had the 30 fucking MSQ quests. The fact is, about 80+% of the player base it's level 65. So the main quest that they were focusing on, it was probably just artifacts. Well, the minority of the players are still leveling, and there's no given time that you should have 30 MSQ quests on top of you together with side quests. There's no any given fucking time.
Stored together for us, and if that goes...
They could have literally fucking released that shit instead of 5 with 10 from the get-go. Because usually whenever they did the batch of artifacts was like 8 artifacts at a time. Right, they release the game with like 15, 20 artifact or 10, 15. Then they release 8, and then they release 8, and then they're releasing another 8.
Over our limit, then you're gonna have issues with players not being able to load into the game or play. And so we have to be very careful to make sure we're not doing anything that's gonna push us over that limit. And so
if you're afraid that it's gonna push over that limit, then take the limit from somewhere else. Like I said, there's no reason why you have 30 MSQ quests and only 5 artifact quests.
Of optimization work on reducing the size of that data we're storing. So we've done it for items, we've done it for some other things. We're currently in progress of doing that for objective data specifically, and that will let us increase that limit in the future. We actually did increase it from 5 to 10 recently, and for season 5. And so it'll be a little nicer in the near term, and then we'll be able to increase it further in the future.
So if you were able to increase it from 5 to 10, then you can also decrease from 30 to 20 and then increase it from 5 to 15. And you could have done that literally in the first fucking month of coming out, because people have been complaining about the 5 quest artifact thingies in season 3. And when do you fix it? 6 fucking months later, bro. Give me a fucking break. You guys could have done that in the first month once you had an incredible amount of fucking complaint about the 5 goddamn fucking quests.
When will you guys start to look into dead servers? Merge quicker than letting people suffer or buy transfer tokens.
Yeah, but then how do they make money? You know what I mean?
I can assure you that we don't want you to suffer, and it's not our goal to get you to buy transfer tokens. That should be just something that you want to do of your own accord. We are currently looking at merges.
Listen, if you guys wouldn't want people to buy tokens, then you would have not be selling tokens. All right? Stop the cap, Katie. If you didn't want people to suffer and you didn't want to sell tokens, then you would have given free tokens.
There's some delays just because we have the team that generally does that. We have them working on something else that is super exciting, but it takes a little bit to get those resources back over to help us with those merges. But I can guarantee you that those are in the works, and so you should be seeing information soon, if not already, about server merges.
Do you?
I honestly think that server like token it's good money income for them. Now, am I trying to sit here and say that they're doing these things on purpose? Of course not. But don't tell me that you don't want people to buy tokens, because yes, as a company that the main goal is the bottom line, selling token, it's a big influx of money, especially when the tradition of New World has been a server hopping to server hopping to server hopping, and it's been an incredible. I wish we could see how much money has server transfer has generated to AGS in the past 2 years. And it's an incredible amount of fucking money. And incredible. And since AGS is a business and it's a business first, you guys really are profiting from server transfer. It's been a tradition from the very beginning of the game. Server dies because one company owns everybody, then the entire server transferred to another server. You guys made a lot of money, then that server dies, then people go from that server to another, then they kill that server, and they move to another server, and then they move to another server.
Look at data on the type of activities accounts spend most of their playtime on. I'd be interested.
Again, I'm not saying that they're doing this on purpose so people buy them. But yes, the company want you to buy transfer token. The same way that they want you to buy store skins. Anything that they put a price tag in front of it, they want you to buy it.
To see here what percentage of players only do OPR, Arenas, Open World Flag PvP versus those who just...
You want more money for players? Put a black dye in the shop. You're welcome. I think, honestly, the reasoning why they don't do black dye is because they might have... And again, when we say they, Chad, it's not Scott, and Katie. All right? It's not Scott, and Katie. It is a completely different team. This is the marketing team. This is the money team, right? They might have an idea that by limiting the color black, that if they are to release color black skins in the future, people will buy those skins with more joy because black it's unique, right? There's no black dyed in the game, so if they release a purely black skin, that more people will buy it because that color is limited in the game.
Run endless expeditions and chest run.
Any mention yet to PvP content? No, oh my god, I thought we just started the video, but we're halfway through it. TrickTrick, any good news so far? Yeah, things are getting better after they get worse. So that's so far what we got.
Yeah, so I mean, you've all seen the dashboards and things like that. We definitely track player activity, what they're spending their time on. We kind of identify what kinds of players we have, heavy PvP, heavy PvE. We found that most PvP players also do a lot of PvE, right?
Right. Right.
And so there aren't a ton that are solely those activities that were listed there. Only
this PvP reward fucking suck ass, chat. Because if you want to make money as a PvPer, you have to do PvE. A lot of the times, if you want to get gear as a PvPer, you have to do PvE. You literally, you like, PvPers are the most brokey guys out there, dude. I play PvE for gear set. Yeah, you cannot get your transmode token by doing PvP. Can you? No, you're forced to do PvE. You cannot get golden scarab by doing PvP. You're forced to do PvE.
Open world PvP, only OPR. And so generally, like the PvP.
Give arenas, chat. Give arenas, chess, a chance to give you golden scarab, and you will see the arena population fucking skyrocket. Literally, chat. You give PvPers good rewards in their PvP events, in the PvP content, and they will never do PvE. They will never do PvE. The reason why PvPers do PvE is because PvP reward suck gigantic's hippopotamus dick. I have 200 OPR chests sitting in storage because they're all fucking garbage.
Intensive players are maybe like a third, roughly, of our player base, as of I think right now. But
they also,
around launch and like when the populations are bigger, that ratio is a little different.
It's a lot smaller, yeah.
but also.
Wait, hold on. Let me hear what he just said.
As of I think right now,
but they also,
around launch and like when the populations are bigger, that ratio is a little different.
It's a lot smaller, yeah.
It's way smaller. You guys heard what they said? The PvP population is way smaller. The amount of people that are doing OPR, the amount of people that are doing duels, the amount of people that are doing arenas, it's way fucking smaller than the people that are doing PvE. So this is a understanding why they don't really focus in PvE. Because again, it is a business choice, a business move. And whenever a lot of people get extremely fucking bothered, why don't they release PvP content? Why do they release PvP content? Honestly, because PvP content doesn't make them money. PvE content makes them way more fucking money than PvP content does. So of course they will focus in PvE.
but also the ones who play PvP primarily still do a lot of PvEing.
Yeah, because we're forced. Because we are literally forced. We listen, we don't do PvE because we enjoy it. We do PvE because we need to. We honestly do PvE because we need to. Because if I go here to New World Database and I go to Arena Spoils, what is the name of the arena box? What do you call that thing? Arena Warrior. Arena Warrior spoils. Like, look at all this fucking green shit over here, right? And look what this chest will give me. This is Arena Warrior spoils, level 65, which is the latest one that you can get. And look at the fucking rewards, chat. Look at the fucking rewards. I could go, that was it. There you go, all 33 pages, and it's full of grade and green shit. You can only get 2 of these a day. Who the fuck you think is making money out of this? They're complete fucking garbage. Literally, you add a golden fucking scarab to this bad boy. You add a couple of freaking, like PvP perks or like freedom or bro, listen to this, chat. If Arena Warrior spoils were given Hardened Crystal or Adamant, which is health, an incredible amount of people would have been doing PvP. But you fucking don't. You don't. Like the best possible rewards in New World are not via PvP, are via PvE. And if a PvPer wants to get the game, wants to take the game serious, then they're forced to do the other content.
Right. Yep. So.
And this is whenever I apply as a fucking reward person for AGS, they were like, nah, we don't fucking need you. But then you guys are sitting here saying that PvPers are doing PvE, thinking that because they enjoy it. No, it's because the rewards fucking suck dick.
I think what's important about, I think it was a great question too, and what's important is when there's a lot of questions that come up like, we know everybody wants this thing I want, when actually there are segments of people, there's actually, I mean, everybody wants no crashes, that kind of stuff I agree with, but there are not a lot of game features or gameplay or content that everyone wants. There's a lot, so we try to hit the broadest spectrum with the big paintbrush, and then over time, we also try to hit specific needs at other groups as well.
Will musket traps affect mounts? Can mounts get trapped in a musket trap? And if not, why not?
I'm not sure if they will for season 5. I don't know the positive answer. I think long term they will. But the intention is when you're on a mount and you're shot in PvP, or I shouldn't say shot, hit, you'll dismount. And I don't know that we got there with the...
That was not the question, Scott. That was not the question. The question was, if you hit a mounted person with a CC, will the mounted person get CC'd? And if not, why not? That was the question. Because at the moment, if there is a guy coming with a mount and you hit him with a vol kick, they get dismounted, but they don't get stunned. If you're in a mount and you hit somebody with a shockwave, they get dismounted and they don't get shockwave. Why? Because the mount is the one that is taking the hit, not the player, which is a bad fucking design, it's a bad system. That was the question, Scott. The question is, if I hit a mounted player with a CC, will they get CC'd or will they not get CC'd? That was the question.
Traps or not.
And the answer that Scott is trying to give, even though he looks very confused, is I don't know if I don't know if that will work, but I'm sure it will work in the future if enough people complain about it.
We'll look into that.
Yeah, because those don't do damage. It's just a movement.
Right.
This is why the PvP reward fucking suck, chat. This guy said that the trap doesn't do damage. Did they forget that they created a trap to apply a bleed on the enemy? Which it deals an actually quite a significant amount of damage. This is why rewards, PvP rewards fucking suck my dick. And then they're all like, yeah, right. Like, did you guys forgot a couple of updates ago whenever you guys said we are adding a perk to the trap that adds a bleed to the trap so they actually now do damage? You guys forgot about that part? How, man, I don't want to talk negatively about them, but fuck, man, how disconnected are you guys? How do you guys don't know what one of the core abilities do? I know, chat. I know what every single ability in New World do. Every single one of them. And I did not create the game. I'm not a developer that is there all day fucking long. If you guys are gonna sit here and take questions about PvP and about PvP abilities, I will at least expect that you guys know what you guys are talking about.
Traps or not, we'll look into that.
Yeah, because those don't do damage. It's just a movement impairing effect.
Yeah,
And
it
I
is
thi-
the plan, but it's,
Yeah. I don't think it's going to make season 5, but I think the important thing here is like, it's funny because I've seen some people, oh my God, it's so obvious. Mounts are going to make OPR the best. And I've seen other people, mounts are going to ruin OPR. I think the first thing we just need to do is like, let's just see what happens. Internally, we have a lot of fun when we're playing with mounts hitting OPR. Let's see what it does to the player, to the game, and if it has a...
I really hope that you guys fix this before even it comes, because don't you think it's pretty obvious that if you hit a player with a CC that is mounted, should they get CC'd? And this right there should be a wake-up call, because none of you know what the fuck trap does, and none of you know what the reaction of a trap on a mounted player will do. So if you guys are about to implement mounts into the only major PvP content that we have, I hope that you guys are well aware that CC on a mounted player, do not CC them, just dismount them. And if you guys were just like, let's just add mounts into OPR, and you guys didn't go over the plus and the negative that this will bring to OPR and how this will interact with the players, then how this decision even came to the table? And how do you guys agree with this decision? And who is making these decisions? Because obviously, it was neither of you three that made this decision to add PvP app mount to OPR. And if you guys didn't, then you guys are not knowledgeable enough to make this decision, not knowing what the fuck a CC will do against a mounted player. Because this is something that I will take in consideration, wouldn't you, chat? If all of a sudden you have a game, all right, let's say that you have a cockroach boxing tournament, right? And you have been running this business for the past 2 years. For the past 2 years, you have a ring and both participants are cockroaches, right? And then all of a sudden people will be like, you know what would be fucking cool? If we could add robots in there. And then you're like, you know what? That sounds great. Without ever even taking a consideration what the impact of the robot might have against the cockroaches. The robot is gonna go in there. Fuck. It's gonna fucking kill the cockroach. And now you just lost your whole fucking business because you didn't even take in consideration what the robot could do to the cockroaches. Super fucking weird ass analogy. But the point that I'm trying to take across is, if you're gonna make a big decision like this and you don't take the ups and downs of this decision, then don't make this decision at all.
Positive reaction, we'll do more work toward it. And if it has a negative reaction, we'll make some changes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Yeah.
Let's have fun.
Yeah, you see, that's... while fun is there, just because it's a game, it should not be taken serious. Because it is a game, Katie, where we should all have fun, but it's the game that it keeps you family fed. It's a game that pays you. And we are the one paying the money so you guys can have a fucking job. Because if none of us will play New World, none of you would have a goddamn fucking job. So how about you take our time and effort serious and not just, it's a game, let's have fun. Because every decision that you guys make, it directly fucking impacts us. Don't treat it like it's a game. Treat it like it's a business. Be professional about it and make the best fucking decisions. Make the best possible decisions to make the best possible game that you guys have.
Did a turnip.
You said the loot for the worm raid was something you'd like to look at in the future, but it isn't currently on the to-do list. I have to ask, why has this occurred? This is your most challenging PvE content in the game. How is an expansion created and launched, but the rewards to what is essentially the top-tier PvE content wasn't updated?
Yeah, so it is on our to-do list to update the sandworm trial rewards. So that is something that we are working on. So that's happening. I can't give you an ETA on it, but it is something literally that we are actively working on.
How actively working on can you be to just simply take an item gear score from 625 and put it on 700? How much work does it require to take item A that has 625 gear score and put it 700? You don't need to actively work on it. This is something that you can do with several fucking clicks. You do not have to change any mechanic. You do not even have to change the loot. All you have to change is the gear score. AK-47 is this bullshit. What the fuck in the Communist Party is this shit, man? Like, how much more discussion do you guys need to? Do you guys gonna sit in a table and trying to pretend that you guys are working hard on the sandworm fucking loot? I thought this was America. Welcome to. You don't need to work on it. You just need to do it. It does not need a deep analysis on how can we make this raid good. We already told you how to make it good, so do it. You don't need to act like, what is the actively working on it, chat? I don't get it. If you have a restaurant and somebody fucking painted a big ass Nazi sign on top of your fucking business, a fucking swastika, and then people are like, remove that shit, that is not good. And you're like, we are actively working on it. I don't need more muskets. What the fuck does that mean? You don't need to actively work on it. There is an easy fucking fix / solution to the problem. You don't need to actively work on it. Just do it. It's a simple fucking thing. And again, it's just a simple thing. It's just increasing the gear score. It will not affect the fucking lag in the game. It will not make it more taxing. It's just a fucking number made out of pixels.
What is the team's plan to fix missing lore notes? Was documented in the old forums as well as multiple bug reports. While it is understandable that without a fixed MSQ, lore will change, however, it is unacceptable that unobtainable or straight up missing lore pages have yet to be fixed.
I can take that one. So, yeah, the intention is not to have any unobtainable or missing lore pages. Like, the journal should be completable by players. I know that for Season 5, we have a lot of fixes along those lines, and if there are other missing ones, please use our bug reporting tools to report them, and we'll prioritize them and fix them. But yeah, like we're not leaving that broken intentionally.
Yeah, we agree it's unacceptable.
Any time frame on when the devs will play their first OPR map?
Yeah, I think it'll be somewhere around 2021. I mean, we've been playing it for years, so
Yeah.
I think the question is saying that it's not fun or something like that, but it is one of our most played modes. We see
Oh, fuck, dude. No shit, Scott. It's the only one we have.
Did a turnip.
It's the only one we have. It's like telling a NASCAR player, I see a lot of NASCAR racers turn left. No shit, that is the only turn they have. If they turn right, they fucking crash. We have no choice, Scotty. You guys completely fucking ruin Arena, so nobody's gonna play Arena.
the most replayability in it. I played, I think, 2 last night.
I think this is more a question about the meta and like the shift in meta. Like recently it was door PR, previous to that bow PR, which is still a little bit of bow PR going on.
Recently?
And then previous to that it was just muskets, like, and there's still, again, like some of that coming back as well. So
Well, we're doing adjustments with every
Yes.
release, and I think the door one is being adjusted in season
Yes, it
5,
is.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So,
you shouldn't. It's yes, it is
can
being
assure you
adjusted.
that the-
You don't think, Scott? You know it's being adjusted, 100% because you guys covered this in the previous. And this is what I think, man. Like Scott just need to fucking grab some balls, fucking sitting there and say, "This is what we're fucking doing. This is what we're doing because I know we're doing this because I'm working on it. This is what is happening." And there's so many fucking I think, I don't know, we're working on it, I'm not aware, fucking maybe. Just fucking tell us. We don't want to hear maybes and and I think.
the decks play the game all the time. We're playing OPR almost every day.
oh goodness gracious.
Since we got Crossworld OPR and Expeditions, is there a chance we get Crossworld Arena in the near future?
Yes.
Near. Yes, there is a chance. I cannot guarantee near, but that is definitely something.
Season 6, Chad. I'm gonna answer what Katie was not able to say. Okay. Arenas are coming. Cross servers arenas are coming in season 6. Okay. There you go. There's my answer. Season 6. Cross service arenas are coming out in Season 6. More like, no, I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not kidding. Season 6, we're gonna have cross service arena.
That's banging around in our skulls.
Just be clear.
Why Season 6? Because it didn't come out in Season 5.
Nier is not Season 5.
No.
So, like,
You see what I just said?
Don't
No.
misinterpret that.
No. But yes, that is something that we are absolutely working on.
Okay. Those are all the questions.
No, those are not all the questions. Those are not all. There's no fucking way that those are all the fucking questions, bro. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that those were all the fucking questions, chat. No fucking way. Those were all the fucking question. Those were all the fucking garbage question. Fuck, this fucking thing came off. How the fuck do I fix this shit? All right, here we go. Fix. There's no fucking way those were all the questions. Those were all the questions that you guys picked because those were the most garbage, easiest fucking questions you guys could have answered, while at the same time making it that you guys are picking the hard fucking questions to answer. Because if you ask me, Trick, what did you get about this video? The only thing I got about this video is we're working on it, and I think. We're working on it, I think. We're working on it, and I think we're working on it. That was the whole fucking video. Will traps CC players? We don't know how traps work. I think about it. Is arena cross server coming? We're working on it. Are you going to fix the fucking raid, the rewards? We're working on it. What about the other thing? Well, we're working on it. How about you guys don't make a video? How about you guys don't make a video if you guys are not gonna give us any fucking concrete answer? Right? Like, if every answer for every question is gonna be, we think and we're working on it, that's not what I wanna hear. Imagine you go to a job interview and they go like, do you think you're gonna be a good candidate for this position? I'll think about it. But if not, I'll work on it. All right? What is your experience on the field? I'm working on it. Okay? Have you worked in this field before? Well, I'm working on it. Will you be a good asset for the company? I think. Like, that shit is not gonna get you anywhere. Fuck, dude, what a garbage ass video, dude.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all the questions, and I'm totally looking forward to doing this again next
No,
week.
you don't, Scott. Stop lying to us.
If you like us, follow, subscribe, like, I guess.
The thing is, Chad, if he was happy to do this, he would have actually... Because they already know the answer to these questions. You're gonna fucking tell me and sit here and look at my face and tell me that you guys didn't see these questions before they were asked to you guys. And the fact that you guys did the minimum effort to fucking prepare for this question, it is unacceptable. It is 100% unacceptable. You guys already saw the questions that you guys were going to be asked, and you guys couldn't even give us a straight fucking answer. You guys are incredibly disconnected with PvP, saying that, well, have you seen OPR? A lot of people do it. It's our #1 mode played. No shit, it's the only one we have. We had another one that it was called Arena, and you guys decided to fucking wipe your ass with it and give it to the player base. Here's a napkin with shit. What are you gonna do about it? And they were like, well, I don't want to have a napkin with shit, so I'm gonna do OPR. And then they go like, oh, wow, look, a lot of people like OPR. No, it's just that people don't want a fucking napkin with shit on it. And then they go like, oh, Scott, if I hit an enemy that is mounted with a CC, which is a big fucking move, you guys decided to add mounts to OPR, right? So shouldn't you know what the consequences of adding mount to OPR is without taking in consideration what the player-to-player interaction will be whenever everybody's using mounts? Because what if I want to use a CC on a fucking mount character simply to dismount him given a fortification, a haze, and now I don't have a CC ability. You dislike mounting OPR? I like mounting OPR. I really like it. But there's a problem with mounts right now that neither Scott or Katie know about it. That if you hit a mounted player with a CC, they do not get CC'd. The mount gets CC'd. Then you get dismounted and you're a player like ready to do your fucking thing, right? So imagine I use a CC on an enemy that is mounted to simply giving them a buff and me wasting a cooldown. That is unacceptable. And if you guys decided to add mounts into OPR, this should have been one of the arguments that you guys discussed. If we're going to add mounts to OPR, how does mount and PvP works? Right? Isn't that a legit thing? Because if you have a restaurant and you guys decide to add a ramp for handicap, but you made the ramp a fucking 90-degree angle, then nobody's gonna use the fucking ramp.
You think I'd remember this by like episode 72?
You've gotten so good at this since I was gone.
Otherwise, thanks Scott, thanks Katie, welcome back. And
Jay, thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid, JJ. I appreciate you, dog. Most love. Most love. I really mean it, JJ. That was phenomenal raid. Chat, if you guys haven't followed Jay, go ahead and click on his name right now. Go take a look at his beautiful face. Please, 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 I beg of you, give him a follow. Give him a follow because Jay and I, we share the same, we have a pretty similar sense of humor. We both have some dark mentality and we can joke around things that nobody else would. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate the raid, man. There is a mount charm to remove dots from this mount. Why will a dot affect a mounted player but not a CC? They don't even know that traps do damage. Whenever the question was, do musket traps will dismount the player and trap them or not? They were like, well, trap don't do damage. The last time I fucking checked, you guys changed that, so traps will do damage now.
we will see you all in the tournament.
I didn't want to get upset. It just happened. Like, I really do not want to be upset with Kate, Scott. I want to be happy, chat. I'm not baiting drama. I'm not baiting rants. Like, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I wish I would have watched this video. And after the end of the video, we would have been, my God, that was the best fucking video that we're seeing. Not only did they select the good questions, but they fucking attacked the questions and they answered them. Every single one of them, the doubts that I had, fuck, thank you. Thank you for answering those questions. I want to be that guy. I want the game that I love and I play to be successful. We all depend on New World being good so we can have fun. I don't want to sit here and be negative about it.
What an absolute joke this video is. All we got was, we are working on it. What in the fuck are we supposed to do with that AGS come on, bruh?